Okay, good morning everyone. So welcome to today's case study one lecture for certificate in hospital infection control and patient safety. I am Miss Preeti Kyle ma'am. So let's go further in the lecture. If you have any query, you just can post in question and answer section. So at the last of the lecture, I'll answer your queries. Okay, so in case study, there are two components. You must have received your learner handbook. Many of them have their questions how to complete the case study. So in case study, there are two components, continuous assessment and term and assessment. Okay, so that deals with continuous assessment is case study 1, which is for 70 marks, and term and assessment, that is case study 2, that is final submission, which is for 30 marks. Now, what are the submission dates for case study 1? Date is 15th April 2022, and for case study 2 it is 15th May 2022. So I think you have 1 month still for case study 1 submission. So in case study 1 there are two parts, that is submission 1A, which is for 30 marks, and submission 2B is for 40 marks. Okay, got it? So these both things you are going to submit in one document itself. So don't get confused. But you have two submissions, A and B, in case study 1. Now let's see what is there in submissions. So in submission 1A, which is for 30 marks, you have patient safety strategy question, which you have to answer with the given 5 points. That is incident reporting system, active engagement of patients, prevention of falls, prevention of readmission, and documentation practices. Okay, now what is incident reporting system? So an incident report or accident report is a form that is filled out in order to record details of an unusual event that occurs at the facility, such as an injury to the patient. So that time when a patient gets injured, that time you have to fill the form which you call as incident reporting system, that what happened and the patient got injured. So this should be written in detail in the form. This is called incident reporting system. Next is active engagement of patients. Now in active engagement, while giving medicine to a patient, the nurse should inform the patient or relative about the medicine. Okay. In turn, patient and relative can ask queries if any. So what is that? Sometimes what happens, a patient is given a medicine from a nurse. Okay, the patient has taken the medicine. Then what happens? Suppose in the afternoon shift the duties get changed, and the nurse has not written that I have given the medicine to the patient over there, but the patient has taken the medicine. Now what happens? The next nurse comes. She has seen in the file that there is no note written that this medicine is given. So the nurse again gives the medicine. Therefore, the patient and the relative should be alert that is this the medicine given which was given by the previous nurse or not. Because of the double dosing also you can get a problem. So you have to be alert that whether the medicines are repeating or missed by the nurses or the doctors, prescription is given or not. So this is called active engagement of patients or the relative. So it's not the duty whenever you are in a hospital that nurse and doctor should look after you only, but you also can take care of yourself and your relatives, that are you getting timely medicine, are you getting timely whatever the things are, that if you want a physio, the timing given is for physio is followed or not. These things even you have to take care of, which is called active engagement. Now, prevention of falls. In prevention of falls, what happens many a times, patient is faint or patient is okay but not well, and when he is or she is standing or walking, so get fainted. So bedside rails, unlocked wheelchairs, steps or stairs, interfering clothes, these should be taken care of. Now see, one of patient is pregnant in the hospital, and there near her bed interfering cloths are kept for washing. What happens? She get down to the bed. and she's walking to a washroom. Now she get entangled into the interfering fluids and she'll fall down. What will happen? She'll fall down on her womb or stomach and she'll get down to a major problem. So these all things should be taken care that there are bedside rails are there for the patients who are critical in condition. Wheelchair should be locked so that wheelchair doesn't work on its own and reach somewhere else where it is not required. Then steps or stairs, you have to take care. There is no water on the steps. The steps are not slippery. The steps should have rails so that patient can hold it and walk on, and interfering fluids should not be there. So this is prevention of fall, how you will take care of these falls. Now prevention of readmission. Now why you think that readmission should not be there? So how you are going to do it? So when staff levels are higher, means whenever in a hospital staff is more, they can take care of more patients. So nurses have more time to spend with each patient, ensuring more comprehensive communication. This often increases the quality of discharge instructions provided, which can help prevent readmission down the road. So, whatever the reasons are for readmission that you have to write, then documentation practices, how your documentation practices should be. So, documentation typically reports why the patient was seen, what was done, what was found, and what was recommended in a way that justifies the assignment. Okay. So, what are the procedure codes? So, why the patient was admitted? The reason should be there. His or her previous history should be there. What is the diagnosis? What is the line of treatment given? These all things are there in the file so that if it is required in the future, it can help you for diagnosing any other disease which is occurring in the patients. Okay. So these are the 5 points patient safety strategy. So remember, many of the students again ask for this query, what we have to do over here. So you have to write an answer taking these 5 points in line. Okay, so incident reporting system point should be covered, active engagement, prevention of falls, prevention of readmission, and documentation practices. So this will be one answer for your case study 1A submission. Now next, in submission 1A, what you have to do, the next question is, you have to write about the departments now in the hospital. So first of all, whenever you are visiting a hospital for completing your case study 1, you will write short about the hospital, whatever the details are, special features are there, you can write about that, about the hospital. Now you have to enlist the 3 departments to be assessed. Whichever department you are going to assess, please jot down their names in your answer. Now write in short about facilities and services provided by the department. Now for an example, operation theatre is there where operations is carried out. So what are the facilities and what are the services? You have to write it down in short. Now you have to prepare checklist for one department. Remember, in 1A, submission 1A, you have to just submit one department. Okay. So you have to prepare the checklist and submit the department. Now finding of compliance assessment of that department with the help of checklist. So you can check the compliance whichever the checklist you are comparing with, that whether these procedures are followed in the given department or not. These compliances you can write it down. Now in B, what you have to do. So in submission 1A, you saw there is one answer which is on patient safety strategies and another is details of the hospital, and you have to submit one department. Now in 1B, what you have to do, assessment report for remaining 2 departments as per headings mentioned for case study 1. So case study 1, you have written down one department details. Now in 1B, you just have to carry that forward and the remaining whatever departments are there, that you have to complete. Okay. So I think you don't have any confusion. In 1A, you will be writing patient safety strategy answer plus one department checklist. In 1B, you will be writing remaining 2 departments. Okay. With the compliance. Now departments to be visited or you can visit in an hospital to assess. So outpatient department, emergency or causality department, inpatient department, pathology department or laboratory services, operation theater, intensive care unit, intensive care cardiac care unit, then high dependency unit, central sterile supply department. So these are the departments where you can visit, assess the department and write your case study. Now what is checklist? Checklist is used in assessments or audits to verify that the processes are performed according to plan or prescribed guidelines. So that you can write that this department is having 12, should have 12 beds. Okay, this is your one of the question. In front you will write yes or no because that is your assessment part. So if the requirement is of 12 beds, you will write yes, but no, if it is less or more, you will write no, and why you are writing no, you will give the clarification. Okay, so this way the checklist will be. So you have to prepare the checklist in your learner handbook, and in that way only we have given the links of some checklist. You can search for other checklist also, and you can prepare it accordingly. The checklist should include the questions about consistency and completeness of the procedures as well as availability of required resources and documents. Okay, so whatever the consistency and completeness is there, as I said that the hospital should have 12 beds. If it is written down guideline and that is not followed, so you have to write it in yes or no. It is followed to yes, not to no, and why. So that you have to write it down. Now the sample check. This is the sample checklist how you are going to prepare. See for infection control program infrastructure elements to be assessed. So the checklist is given. You just can go through it once. So qualification you can verify, then prevention and control program performance, then written infection control. So these are the things. Now in healthcare personal safety, so facility has an exposure control plan that is tailored to the specific requirement of the facility. Then HCP for whom contact with blood or other potentially infection material. Then following an exposure event, facility tracks, facility follows recommendations. So these all things are there in the checklist. If you go through the links, you will be able to understand what you have to do exactly. But it is the thing that you have to write in detail about the department in the checklist, and you have to check it. Means now you are assessing the department whether it is working properly or not, it is following the guidelines or not. So in that way you have to follow the checklist and answer it. Now, what are the formatting guidelines? Now, the font size and type should be Times New Roman and 12. Remember that. The body of the text, list of tables, graphs, whatever are, is 1.5 line spacing. You don't have the graphs and charts. So, if wherever required, you just can use that. Now, contact details. For queries, you may contact on 88888 For support staff, Mr. Akshay Shinde, the mail ID is acad-support@ssodl.edu.in. From program in charge, that is myself, Ms. Preeti Payal, research@ssodl.edu.in. So remember, on 15th April, you have to submit submission 1, which is A plus B. 1A consists of patient safety strategy answer plus 1 department. 1B consists of remaining 2 departments. Got it? So if you have any query, you just can ask in question and answer session. I'll be happy to answer that.